This is the actual structure of the market. This is where the market is not only finding support and resistance, but what it feels like as it's traversing through there. As you're walking along a street, depending on the street, let's say that it's this nice flat road and well-paved sidewalks, super nice, clear day, your walk is going to be very easy. And it's going to be very easy to go from one end to the other. Or if you're on a bike, you're on that and it's going to be easy to traverse from one end to the other and get to where you're going, right? Maybe you don't want to stay there. Maybe there's nothing on, no stores, maybe just empty fields or whatever. So you're on a road and you want to get to where there is activity. That's kind of like what the wells are. You're not hanging out there. There's nothing for you. No place for you to spend your money. But down the street there is. Now, when you're into new territory, it's like, holy crap, I've come up here to the end of this road and I just spotted a land plot that would be a perfect place to put, I don't know, a shopping mall or a restaurant or whatever. So you stop there and then you build on it and you build interest in there and other people come there and they like it too. Then they like the restaurant that you built and then you start getting a lot of people going there and they spend money there. Hopefully I'm getting to you here because this is exactly what's happening only on a grand scale with millions of participants investing their money at these particular levels in specific companies, etc. In a very highly organized and I don't know how else to say it, it's just mega activity and they're all deciding where they want to spend their money and where they want to go with it. What's the value of those things? And that's how we get the structure. Now the structure stays active for a long time. But as I said, not weeks, not months, but years, even decades. And the reason for that is that they've laid down tracks, they've laid down landmarks, and when they come back to it, even while they're hanging out there developing it, those various places where they've laid down that structure become impactful on how the market reacts. So the way we discover structure is very simple with an analysis of all of that and start drawing lines that outline that structure, that outline where the volume is and where the volume isn't. And anywhere where we can find where there's a great discrepancy between volume and no volume, we put a line, right? So the biggest thing is we want to outline these nodes and so forth. And as I said, now remember the analogy of the GEX, it is also doing this, but it's creating the volume profile in real time. And it's like the swarm just buzzing over this. And then when it leaves the structure. Now, we're adding all these lines, and the reason why I colorize them is that once I zoom in, I'm no longer going to be able to see this big volume profile, and that's because the way TradingView plots the volume profile, it only plots what it sees in the window. So if I zoom in to just this area, maybe these last 2 days, see these blue lines over here on the right, they represent trading days. And so if I zoomed in there, I obviously can't see the rest of the stuff, so the volume profile is going to look very different. So I create these colored lines so that when I'm zoomed in, I can tell where I am in the big picture, because that is going to have direct impact to how price is going to move in real time. Not only hitting those levels, but how price tends to move. In other words, it's going to be much more sticky or compressive move in between or inside of a volume node and much more expansive movement outside. All right? I hope I'm making some sense to you.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you're interested in having the tools you need to become a profitable zero DTE trader, check out the link in the description. Take care, guys.